What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand. And today we are talking about businesses that you can start right now that do not include influencing. Because let's be real, influencing ain't for everybody, okay? And honestly, even if you are an influencer, I think it's really important to diversify your income streams. Brand deals are great, but when them things get to slowing down, what else are you doing? And a lot of these businesses are things that you can be doing either alongside your day job or alongside influencing or just by themselves to make a lot of money. So let's get into it. Number one is to launch a product. Now, this is kind of a Captain Obvious one. We are going to get into some really creative ones as we get through the list, but I couldn't leave it off the list because having a product business is so powerful. Products are never going to go out of style. You can do e-commerce, you can do drop shipping, you can do retail. You have a lot of options. And if you have the capital to customize a product, then go for it. I say that it is a business that is worth experimenting with. I also think, even to get a little deeper into products, customizable products. So what I mean by this is, for example, Little Words Project. I have a bracelet and you can customize whatever word you want on it. Wait, let me go get it. Okay, so this is the bracelet and it's by a company called the Little Words Project. And it says energy, and then it has my baby's birthstone for August on the back. Oh my God, I'm so out of breath. First of all, I'm already always out of breath. But second of all, I just ran up the stairs. But when people can customize something, it just makes it that much more special. And it makes them keep thinking of ways to use your product, but whether it's for gift giving or whatever. Like, there are a lot of different purposes when people can customize. So highly recommend, even if you are starting a product business, how can you customize it? Can you do engraving on your product or things like that? So product business is number one. Number two is to start a service-based business. Now, contrary to product businesses, service businesses can be a little bit more cost effective if you don't have a lot of capital, because essentially you are providing the service. So it could be anything from something tangible like starting a cupcake business, which Forbes actually coined as one of the most profitable businesses this year. Not surprising, because they're customizable. You can use cupcakes for any events. Like, you can just kind of make them as extravagant or as customized as you want, and it is a specialty skill that everyone can't do. So it can be something like that, all the way to like small business bookkeeping, a cleaning business if you're really good at some sort of skill like that, or even consulting with corporations or other business owners. The thing about starting a service business is that you do have to scale this though, because at some point you're going to run out of time. So you can't be the only one cleaning. You can't be the only one making cupcakes, because your service takes time and there's only so much time in a day. So you're going to have to scale, which means you're going to have to hire people and you're going to have to figure out lots of strong systems in order to make that sustainable and scalable for you. Number three is you can actually buy an existing business. Now, this is where the list gets a little more fun, okay? So you can buy an existing business, which I think is a really good idea. One of my mentors says she does this quite frequently, and she's always looking on this site called Biz Buy Sell. Basically, you can put your area, like whatever local area you want to search for businesses that are for sale in, and you can even type out like what kind of business. So maybe you want to buy salon suites, for example, and you want to start a business where you own a like salon that has suites and people pay you rent and they have their own little like suite in your salon. And so you can search that, you can search your local area, and then you can see what salon suites are for sale. Or you can just go on there and browse. A lot of cash cow businesses are on there, like laundromats, all kind of stuff, cosmetic companies and plumbing companies, all these different types of companies where sometimes the people are just retiring and they don't have someone to pass it down to. And these businesses already have cash flow because they're already up and standing and like operating businesses. They already have employees. So instead of you starting from scratch, you can kind of go in, rework some of the systems if you want to. You can do more marketing. You can, add your own spin to it to grow the business even more, but you're not starting from ground zero. So that is biz buy sell. Number 4 is real estate. Now, this is also one that can be done alongside of whatever else you got going on. So if you already are busy and you want to buy a property and kind of get your real estate business going, this is something that is a slow burn, because unless you have a whole bunch of money sitting around where you can just buy all of these houses, then it's probably going to take some time for you to grow your real estate portfolio. However, it is a really, really smart thing to implement, regardless of how many of these on the list you have. Having real estate is just never going to go out of style. So a lot of people also do house hacking, where they'll buy a duplex and then rent out the other unit in the duplex, and that covers a majority of the mortgage, and then you can kind of use that as capital to start one of these other businesses. So there are lots of options with real estate. I just think you have to know what area makes the most sense for you, whether you want to flip the homes or rent out the homes and hold on to them. I think it just kind of, or Airbnb them. It just kind of depends on what makes the most sense for your lifestyle. But I do think there is a good amount of flexibility there with real estate. Number 5 is government contracting. I know it sounds really official, but basically it's when you contract with the government for various products or services, because essentially the government has a budget that they must spend. Well, they don't have to spend it, but they have a budget to spend a certain amount of money with small businesses and large corporations to meet their mission, essentially. And so there are millions and millions of contracts that they do a year. And basically, you go onto this website and you find different contracts, and you can essentially subcontract with a vendor and keep the profits. So for example, if the government is looking for 500 pounds of laundry to be done in the state of Georgia for some random project, maybe the army base or whatever, I don't know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, they will put a contract out, and you can bid on that contract. And then you find a laundromat that's in whatever area they're requesting, and you get a price from them. So maybe the laundromat says that that's going to cost $5,000. I don't know. And so you go back and you place a bid for $8,000. And if your bid gets accepted, that means that you're going to pay the laundromat $5,000, and you're going to keep the additional $3,000 profit. And that's basically how it works. And you just basically put these bids out. Now, it does go a lot more in depth than this. This is kind of like a very high level level explanation of government contracting, but there are contracts for literally everything from photography to products. Like they might need a bunch of tumblers or an apartment building for something. You just never know. But there are tons of opportunities out there for you to contract with the government, and apparently they pay really fast and they have a lot of money to spend. So I know a few people who are dabbling into government contracting, and then some who are actually really, really successful at it, and all have great things to say about it. So that is an option. Number 6 is you can start a subscription-based newsletter, or you can just start a membership club. I think the subscription-based newsletter is a great idea if you are somebody who is creative, you're great at writing, or you have great information and you're looking for somewhere to put that. Maybe you don't necessarily want to be on camera or be on Instagram and all the social media, but you still want to put something out to the world. Substack is such a great platform for that. Now, I have a Substack newsletter and I have a good amount of subscribers, but I don't have the paid activated yet. But what you can do is you can set up your typical like regular newsletter, but the great thing about Substack is that you can add a paywall. So let's say I'm giving all these tips out like this video in a newsletter version, and I have the first 3 tips that are free for anybody to read. And then there's a paywall where you have to be subscribed in order to see the last 4 or 5 tips or whatever. So it's a really cool concept because and you see this a lot with different media companies. You might see a cool headline that you're interested in. Why is TikTok getting banned? And then you click it and it's like, sign up for our blah, blah, blah. I think Substack is really cool because you as the creator can really shape and customize what is shown to free subscribers versus paid subscribers. You can do a podcast on there that can be paid. You can do audio, like you can voice over all of your blog posts. It's just a really cool platform, and it's great for content creators who want to monetize in a way that is still you're owning that audience. Like you own those emails, you have that contact information. So in the case that a social media platform shuts down, you still are able to have those contacts and you're still in good standing. Okay. So I think Substack is great. Now, this is a platform that could take a while. It's just kind of like any other social media where it could take a while for you to build that community. But once you build that community, there are people who are making thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on Substack because they have built such a strong community of free and paid subscribers. You can also get, brand deals through Substack in terms of like people wanting to promote their brands in your newsletters. So, I mean, I know this is about not being an influencer, but this is like a different way. It's not the most traditional form of influencing. So, and anyone can do this, honestly. It's just writing, okay? Writing, and I know I'm making writing sound easy, but you don't have to be all of this on camera and doing all the things. If you did want to check out my newsletter, it's called Simply Put, and it is really great. I share a lot of my personal moments, but also like a lot of business and content creation tips. So it's just a really good resource. I feel like it has a slightly different feel than my typical like YouTube video format. It's kind of a morph between Instagram, like kind of that personal feel, but then sprinkling in some info. So let me know if you like it. Number 7 is a faceless channel on YouTube or a faceless Instagram profile. Now, the faceless thing is really kind of starting to take over. I feel like so many people are interested in this because there is a large group of people who really want to take advantage of social media, but really don't like the idea of their privacy being compromised. And I get it, I get it. So basically what faceless YouTube or faceless social media is essentially you are creating content, but there's no face associated to it, is exactly what it sounds like. And with YouTube specifically, YouTube is a search engine. So there are lots of people searching things like best settings for my camera, something like that. And so if you have a faceless channel all about cameras and gear and all of that stuff, and you have all the rundowns on how to make the best settings and all of these different things, that can be a very easy searchable channel that can generate a lot of traffic, and you still benefit from those paid advertisings. I know someone who has a faceless channel and they're making 5 figures a month from their faceless channel. He started it some years ago, and when it took off, it just really took off. And you see a lot of these with travel channels. There are just tons of channels that are making a lot of money. Now, the thing is that you can call it a faceless channel, or you will see a lot of people calling it YouTube automation. And what they'll do is they will go on Fiverr or Upwork and they'll hire someone to write their script. Now, honestly, you can do ChatGPT. They'll hire someone to edit the video. They'll hire someone to make the thumbnail. And so there's this like very seamless system of them getting these videos up, and essentially they're not really doing much. Okay. Now it does take work because, you have to get the channel up and running. And if you don't have the capital to hire these people, then you will be the one who is doing that work, that leg work. But I think it could be worth it if you find a niche that you really love. Like maybe you really love electric vehicles, or you really love music, or whatever it is, and you can figure out a way to monetize that with YouTube videos. great idea. Also with the Instagram pages, I think Instagram can be a little trickier. With Instagram, I see a lot of these with the Amazon or like affiliate pages where it's like Amazon home finds or Amazon tech gadgets or, you know, things like that, where they're using the page to generate affiliate commissions. So instead of YouTube where you're getting AdSense for the views, on Instagram, a lot of the Faceless channels are sharing different gadgets and doing gadget reviews. And the short form content can be a lot less of a lift than like a YouTube video. However, it's still work you have to do. And I wouldn't say that either of these are necessarily easy, especially if you don't see the momentum start to pick up pretty quickly. So that was 7 ideas on businesses that you can start this year. Some take a little bit of capital, but some you can get going on right now. And honestly, as much as you can, think creatively, because these businesses really work when you add your own creative twist to them, when you go a little bit more, like go the extra mile, when you are able to cultivate an experience, whether that's a tangible in-person experience or a virtual experience, whatever that is, add your own personality to it. That is what really makes any business pop, is when you are solving a problem that either you have or you know so many other people have. All right, you guys, let me know which of these was your favorite. And if you have any more business ideas that any of us can start, honey, do not gatekeep. Put it in the comments. All right, you guys, I hope this video was helpful. And on that note, I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.